Okay, so you want to talk smart investments, right? We'll forget burying treasure in the backyard. We're diving into Alphabet,
Alphabet.
the parent company of Google.
Ah, yes.
Think search engines and self-driving cars and yes, robots.
Robots indeed.
We've got this article from The Motley Fool, published March 11th, 2025, and the title is pretty intriguing.
Okay.
Nasdaq correction, why I took advantage of a 20% sell-off to buy more of this Magnificent Seven stock.
Interesting.
So the author, Matt DeLallo, seems pretty bullish on Alphabet, even though the Nasdaq is going through a correction, and he calls it one of the Magnificent Seven.
The Magnificent Seven.
Yeah, so that's what really piqued my curiosity.
Well, the Magnificent Seven, it's a term used to describe 7 leading tech companies that have shown really strong growth and performance in the stock market. You know, we're talking household names here. Companies like Apple, Microsoft, Amazon. You get the idea.
Okay, so these are the heavy hitters of the tech world.
I like that.
But what makes Alphabet stand out even with that 20% drop the article mentions?
Well, one thing that the author points out is Alphabet's forward price-to-earnings ratio, or PE ratio for short.
The E ratio.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's basically a way to measure how much investors are willing to pay for each dollar of a company's expected earnings.
Got it. So a higher PE ratio means investors are more optimistic about future earnings.
Exactly. And what's interesting is that Alphabet has the lowest forward PE ratio among the Magnificent Seven.
Really?
It's sitting at a little over 18, while others like the Nasdaq 100 as a whole are over 25.
So even though the market is down, investors are still pretty confident about Alphabet's potential to make money.
That's one way to interpret it. Now, this doesn't automatically make it a bargain,
Right.
but it's definitely something that savvy investors are paying attention to, especially during a market correction.
Makes sense. But a low PE ratio isn't the whole story, is it? What else is making Alphabet attractive right now?
Well, if you look closer at the article, there's a lot of talk about Alphabet's commitment to artificial intelligence, or AI. Yes. The author even quotes Alphabet CEO Sundar Pichai, who's basically saying that AI is the driving force behind their success.
Hold on, there's an actual quote from Pichai in the article.
There is.
What does he say?
He states that their fourth quarter was strong because of their leadership in AI, and that they're building and launching products and models faster than ever. He seems particularly excited about how AI is improving user engagement in Google Search, for example.
So it sounds like AI isn't just some buzzword for them. It's a core part of their strategy.
Absolutely.
But are they actually putting their money where their mouth is?
Oh, absolutely. The article highlights that Alphabet is pouring a significant amount of money. We're talking $75 billion into capital expenditures this year. Wow. A big jump from last year. And a lot of that investment is going towards AI infrastructure.
$75 billion. That's a serious commitment.
Yeah.
What exactly does AI infrastructure entail?
Think of it as the foundation for all things AI.
Okay.
It includes things like building massive data centers packed with powerful servers. It also means attracting and retaining top talent in the AI field. The engineers, the researchers, the data scientists, they're even developing their own AI platform called Gemini.
Gemini. That's a new one for me. What can you tell us about it?
Well, think of Gemini as the engine that powers a lot of Alphabet's AI initiatives.
Okay.
From chatbots to advancements in machine learning and data analysis.
We see.
Gemini is playing a central role. It's designed to be incredibly versatile and efficient, and some experts believe it has the potential to outperform other existing AI models.
So it sounds like they're not just using AI to improve their current products. They're building a whole new platform to power the next generation of AI applications.
Precisely. And this is where their investment in Google Cloud becomes really crucial.
Google Cloud.
Yes, it's not just about using AI internally.
Right.
They're making this platform, Gemini, accessible to developers and businesses who want to build and deploy their own AI solutions.
So it's almost like they're creating an AI ecosystem.
You could say that. And this is a key part of their strategy to grow Google Cloud and solidify their position as a leader in the AI as a service market.
AI as service?
Yes. They're making a bold bet that AI is the future, not just for them, but for the entire tech industry.
Okay, so we've got a company with a seemingly attractive valuation, a CEO who's gung-ho about AI and a massive investment in infrastructure, and a new platform called Gemini. It's starting to paint a pretty compelling picture.
It certainly does. But let's not forget, we're looking at this in the context of a Nasdaq correction.
Right.
There's a lot of uncertainty in the market right now.
Which begs the question, is all this AI focus a sign of strength and foresight, or is it a risky gamble in a volatile market?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
And to understand that, we need to dig a little deeper into what this AI investment really means for Alphabet.
Right, sounds like we need to put on our detective hats and examine the evidence. So we've established that Alphabet is placing some serious bets on AI, but how does this translate into tangible benefits, especially considering the current market dip?
That's where it gets interesting. You see, investing in AI isn't just about keeping up with the trends. It's about creating solutions that address real-world problems. And this is where Alphabet's diverse portfolio of products and services really shines.
You're saying their existing products like Google Search and YouTube benefit from AI.
Exactly. Take Google Search, for example. AI is already enhancing the way we find information, making it more intuitive and personalized. It's helping us sift through vast amounts of data and get to the most relevant results faster.
And what about YouTube? How does AI fit into that equation?
AI is playing a crucial role in content recommendation and moderation on YouTube. It's helping creators reach the right audience and ensuring a safer and more engaging user experience. And that, in turn, translates into increased viewership and ad revenue.
So AI is not just some abstract concept for Alphabet. It's deeply integrated into their core businesses. But what about this new platform, Gemini? How does that fit into the puzzle?
Well, think of Gemini as the bridge between Alphabet's internal AI capabilities and the broader world. They're not just using AI to enhance their own products. They're making those capabilities available to others through Google Cloud.
Like we were talking about earlier, they're creating an AI ecosystem.
Precisely. And this is where things get really interesting, by opening up Gemini to developers and businesses. Alphabet is positioning itself as a key player in the AI as a service market.
So it's not just about internal innovation, it's about empowering others to innovate with AI.
Exactly. They're essentially saying, hey, we've built this powerful AI platform, want to build something amazing with it.
That's a pretty compelling proposition, especially for businesses that might not have the resources to build their own AI solutions from scratch.
Absolutely. And that's why this investment in AI, even during a market downturn, can be seen as a sign of strength and forward thinking. They're not just reacting to the current market conditions, they're building for the future.
Okay, so AI seems to be the golden thread that weaves through everything Alphabet is doing. But let's zoom out for a moment and talk about the bigger picture. We mentioned the Magnificent Seven earlier. This group of leading tech companies, they're all, to some extent, dabbling in AI.
It's true. The entire tech landscape is being reshaped by AI. We've got Apple integrating AI into personal devices, Microsoft making big moves in AI-powered software, Amazon leveraging AI for its cloud infrastructure, and Alexa. It's almost like a race to see who can harness the power of AI most effectively.
And where does Alphabet stand in this race with its low valuation and its massive AI investment? Is it a front runner or is it lagging behind?
That's a tough question to answer definitively. Each of these companies has its own strengths and weaknesses. What's interesting about Alphabet is that they've been investing in AI for years, quietly building up their expertise and infrastructure.
So it's not just a sudden pivot for them, it's a long-term strategy that's coming to fruition.
Exactly. And with Gemini, they're taking a different approach than some of their competitors. They're not just building AI products, they're building a platform that can power an entire ecosystem of AI solutions.
It's a subtle but important distinction, but I'm curious, with all this talk about Alphabet's commitment to AI, are there any potential downsides or risks that we should be aware of?
That's a great question. And it's important to acknowledge that any major technological shift comes with its own set of challenges. One potential risk with AI is the ethical considerations surrounding its development and deployment.
So are we talking about things like bias in algorithms and the potential impact on jobs?
Those are certainly important concerns that need to be addressed.
Yeah.
However, remember that the article we're discussing doesn't delve into the ethical implications of AI. It's primarily focused on Alphabet's business strategy and financial performance.
That's true, but I think it's worth keeping those broader ethical questions in mind as we continue this discussion. After all, technology doesn't exist in a vacuum. It has real-world consequences that we need to be mindful of.
I couldn't agree more. But for now, let's stick to the scope of the article and focus on how Alphabet is positioning itself within the evolving AI landscape.
Fair enough. So we've talked about Alphabet's strengths, their low valuation, their AI investments, their diverse portfolio. But what about their weaknesses? Are there any areas where they might be vulnerable?
One area where Alphabet faces competition is in the cloud computing market. While Google Cloud has been growing steadily, they're still playing catch-up to Amazon Web Services and Microsoft Azure.
So it's a three-horse race in the cloud, and Alphabet isn't necessarily in the lead.
That's one way to put it. But they're making strategic moves to gain ground. And their investment in AI particularly with Gemini, could be a key differentiator.
It's almost like AI is their secret weapon in the cloud wars, but even with a secret weapon, there's no guarantee of victory, right?
Of course not.
Yeah.
The tech landscape is constantly evolving, and there are always new challenges and opportunities emerging. It's a dynamic environment, and Alphabet will need to be agile and adaptable to stay ahead of the curve.
So it's not just about having the best technology today, it's about being able to anticipate and respond to the changes of tomorrow.
Exactly, and that's what makes this whole discussion so fascinating. We're witnessing a pivotal moment in technological history, and Alphabet is right in the thick of it.
It's exciting and a little bit daunting all at the same time, but before we get too carried away with the future, let's bring it back to the present. We started this discussion with an article about Alphabet's stock during a Nasdaq correction. What can we glean from all this about their potential as an investment?
Well, I think the key takeaway is that Alphabet is not just a search engine company or an advertising giant anymore. They're evolving into a multifaceted tech powerhouse with a clear focus on AI.
They're not just riding the AI wave, they're trying to become the wave itself.
Precisely. And while there are inherent risks associated with any investment, particularly in the volatile tech sector, Alphabet's commitment to AI suggests they're playing a long game.
They're not just chasing short-term gains, they're building for a future where AI is ubiquitous, and that to me is a pretty compelling investment thesis.
It certainly is. But as always, it's important for investors to do their own research, consider multiple perspectives, and make informed decisions based on their individual risk tolerance and financial goals.
Wise words. We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, from Alphabet's surprisingly low valuation to their massive AI investments and the potential of their new platform, Gemini. We've also touched on the broader AI landscape and the challenges and opportunities it presents.
It's been a fascinating exploration of a company that's at the forefront of a technological revolution.
And hopefully our listener has gained some valuable insights into Alphabet and the world of AI.
I'd like to think so, but we're not done yet. We've still got some unpacking to do.
You're right. There are still some loose ends to tie up and some key takeaways to highlight.
Perhaps we can delve into those in the final part of our deep dive. I think our listener will find it quite enlightening.
Okay, so let's do like a quick recap for our listeners, just to kind of bring it all together.
Yeah, absolutely. We started by talking about how Alphabet stock is considered a potential buy, even with this Nasdaq correction happening right now.
Right, and that's because they're viewed as undervalued compared to other tech giants, right? Especially with that low forward PE ratio.
Yeah, that low PE ratio we talked about, exactly.
And of course, their huge investment in AI is a big part of the story.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're not just dipping their toes in the AI pool, right?
No.
They're practically building the whole swimming complex.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And remember, it's not just about internal use of AI. They're making their AI platform, Gemini, accessible to other companies through Google Cloud.
So they're not just trying to win the AI race.
Right.
They're building the racetrack itself.
Indeed. And this ties back to the idea that Alphabet is more than just a search engine or an advertising company.
Yeah, right.
They're becoming a comprehensive tech powerhouse.
Yeah, they're almost like a tech conglomerate with fingers in all sorts of pies. But with this Nasdaq dip, does it make sense to invest in such a company? I mean, is this a sign of strength or is it a gamble?
Well, as we discussed, there are always risks involved in any investment.
Sure.
But in Alphabet's case, their commitment to AI and their diverse portfolio, all those different things they're involved in suggest that they're in it for the long haul.
Yeah, it seems like they're not just chasing fleeting trends. They're trying to anticipate and shape the future.
Exactly. And that's what makes this whole conversation so fascinating.
Yeah.
We're not just talking about a company's stock price, right?
No.
We're talking about the future of technology and its impact on our world.
Yeah, we really went down the rabbit hole on this one, but I think it's been a worthwhile journey. Our listener has gotten a glimpse into the inner workings of one of the most influential tech companies on the planet.
And hopefully they've come away with a better understanding of the potential of AI and its role in shaping the future.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the key takeaway you want our listener to walk away with?
I think the most important thing to remember is that knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power.
Yeah, by understanding the forces at play in the tech world, by asking critical questions and by exploring different perspectives, we can make more informed decisions, not just about investments, but about our lives in general.
So it's not just about knowing the facts. It's about being able to think critically and connect the dots.
And that's what we've tried to do in this deep dive.
Yeah.
Provide our listener with the information and the context to make their own informed judgments.
To be active participants in this exciting and ever-changing world of technology.
Precisely so. To our listener, we say, stay curious, stay informed, and never stop exploring. The future is out there waiting to be discovered. And who knows, maybe you'll be the one to shape it.
Well said. And until next time, keep those minds sharp and those questions coming. We'll be here to dive deep into whatever fascinating topics you throw our way.